Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. A good friend of mine has been requesting a waterfall scene, a specific one, for years now, and I'm going to finally get to it. So this should be a lot of fun. If you're enjoying this and you're looking forward to seeing it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. All right, let's get started. There, I'm just finishing up scrubbing a little bit of clear gel and white over the sky area, and as you can see, we've done a little more than a basic sketch today. Now, this, I know what you're saying. This doesn't look real. I think the same thing. It doesn't look real. I had to look at a bunch of photos to try to figure this thing out. And this is as accurately as I can portray it. Obviously, it looks different from different angles. This is not going to be 100% perfect, but we're going to get it to where it looks pretty good. But you'll see all these big, crazy looking mountains, and then we got some amazing falls. But anyway, we'll get to those in a minute. Let's do the basic stuff first. Let's take our little 1-inch right through some of our blue, and honestly, I'm going to go and wipe most of that out of the brush and put a lot of white into that and wipe that into the brush so that we have just a dusting of paint. I'm going to go right up to the top and put a little more white yet and put that right along the top. I want a very, very light, misty, airy sky today. Not too dark because we're going to have some darkness down here, and I think it'll just play nicely with that. We'll see. Now I've mixed up a quick light blue color, and we'll put a little blue, there's already blue in there. Put a little bit of our yellow and red in there. Oh boy, is it already gonna be one of those kind of days? Probably. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's just about the color I wanted, kind of a grayish green. And I'll put more blue in it, in and around, but this is certainly the color that I was hoping to start with. Oh yeah, I can barely see my sketch. That's one of the bonuses of doing it this way. You can sometimes still kind of see your sketch through there. In fact, a lot of the time, it's that way. Take your time and do this. This is no big rush. Yeah, that looks decent. Walk that color down there, and then grab a little more blue and white, like this. And so you want to smudge that blue and white in. Just kind of mix it up as you go here. And then you can blend it together and you get a nice little effect. Cool. It's nice to bounce back and forth sometimes. You can obviously go lighter, and this is the way we're going to paint all these background mountains, and then we may or may not detail them out more. It kind of just depends on how things go. Oh, I like that touch of yellow ochre in there. Was nice, wasn't it? There. Oh yeah, of course, if you need paint, all of the paints that I use are available in a convenient little set on the website. So you should go check them out if you haven't already. All right, a little bit of blue and white again, light color. And I'm going right back here, very subtle. Right back there. Now I'm just dropping in a little bit of color here on these cliffs. And we may or may not do a little more work on the mountain. If I had to guess, we probably will on the mountains. I'm thinking we will. I think we'll add a few darks and a few highlights, or maybe just a few highlights, depending on the rest of the painting. But I'm not going to do it right now because I need to get the rest of this painting in order to kind of feel out just how detailed and how bright those background mountains need to be. It's too hard to tell when you're looking at a blank canvas. We need to get some other colors up there first. So we'll want to get a decent amount of paint, at least down on the canvas, before we make that choice. That's what I recommend you doing too. Not just in this painting, but any painting. Just, you know, if you're not exactly sure how dark or light to make something, or how big or whatever, you know, kind of just hold back a little, keep painting, and then make your choice later on. It'll be much easier. You'll have more success that way. So anyway, you can just, you know, keep dipping into my random earth tones. Not too much red yet. I'm kind of reserving the red for the very closest cliffs here. Just working on kind of the background ones. A little touch of blue every once in a while is nice. It helps that to feel a little further away. Very good. And you have the option to kind of leave these waterfalls open or to close them in and then just paint over them, or even just wipe them with a paper towel. I don't know what we're going to do yet. We might close them in, or we might leave them open. It doesn't really make that much difference. So we might do a little of both. How's that? Probably the best idea. Now we're going to take a little bit of our green, and I'm going to run a nice dark green up on top here. And we are going to, I know there's this gap, we are going to pull trees up and over, but we'll probably also bring, let's do it right now, 1-inch brush. Let's also bring just a little touch of, well, that didn't look very good, does it? There we go, blue and white. I need to squirt out some more white. bring a little touch of mist down, just for something to float our trees over. That way we have no unfinished edges down here that might cause us problems later. Just get those taken care of right now. Whether or not this mist actually shows is totally unimportant. Just a matter of covering the canvas up so that we don't have to worry about it. We have the freedom to do whatever we want at that point. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop in some little trees. I'm going to bring them right out of this mountain here, and with the cliffs actually. I'm using yellows and greens and everything like that to really make this look nice and tropical. Bright greens are really welcome here in this painting. There you go. Some areas are going to be a little darker than others, but this isn't very far away. You know, as far as distance goes, we're going to be standing somewhere over here looking across. It's just not that far away. So everything's fairly dark, fairly high contrast, and a little bit detailed. Yeah, there we go. Good. And you can honestly take this as far as you'd like. We may not go super far with this because the other things will end up kind of just taking over. You know, the other details in the painting. But it's kind of up to you, up to your vision for this whole scene. It kind of just depends on where you want to go with it, if you want more attention to detail in the background or not. There. Cool. Some palm trees and stuff right back in there. That's cool. I like that. Some of it's more impressionistic and some of it's a little more on the detailed side. And I've got my little filbert brush here standing by. You can just dabble on different strokes that way. You want a lot of different strokes. You don't want just the same old stroke repeated over and over again. This will give you a different effect that way. Very, very good. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop in some water. Finally, for a waterfall painting. We're just now getting to the water. Pretty funny. Well, anyway, doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead and just drop in only the basic tones of the lake areas. And you know what? Here's my thought up here. I decided against leaving the waterfalls open because these waterfalls are made up of a lot of little itty bitty skinny ones, is what, at least how it looks for most of them. So when you're talking about a waterfall that's, you know, like say one up here, for instance, be somewhere in this area, it's got a bunch of little, I don't know if that's even, it's probably not helpful, but it's got a bunch of little strings to it. Does that make sense? And so I didn't want to just leave it blank because then we had to fill it in solid. And this way, if we just maybe just take a paper towel and wipe out where you want the waterfalls to go, then you're gonna be able to very easily paint right over that. It won't mix up any mud at all, and you'll be good to go. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think it's just a better way to do it. And I'm gonna make sure this is nice and turquoisey because that's really the way the water is. Plus we got kind of a dusk setting, so you don't want to make it vibrant blue. In fact, just a touch of that peach in there would be actually really pretty just to the painting. Right there, a little red. So I put just a touch of peach in the sky area. There's my peach color, by the way. Just a little yellow, ochre, and red. Cool. Nice, that looks good. There, I'm just wiping off the excess paint, kind of where I think my waterfalls are going. I'm not going up too far, just see right there, maybe, I don't know. I gotta make sure I get this right actually. Let me just go right there, a little bit right there. You see, not a whole lot of paint comes off, I'm more just scrubbing it into the canvas so that what's there is worked really well into the canvas. There we go, that looks good. And if you use a nice rough canvas, and I do recommend a rougher canvas, you don't want anything too smooth, it'll help grab that paint. It makes all the difference. There. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take a soft bluish purple tone and very lightly, going quickly, just drag that right down. You see, I'm using my detail round brush, and of course that will really help to layer the paint over very nicely. You want to use your softer brushes to go over this area. It really does make it easier. Of course, the more you touch it, the softer, the more blended and almost sometimes muddy it can get. So be a little bit careful. There. But I'm going to do my best to put in each little waterfall where it's supposed to go. And I'll tell you what, this is really not as important as you might think, because if you make a small mistake, what you can do is just paint right over it, then rub it with a paper towel and do this all over again. But you'll notice that the more paint you get off this canvas, the better your result is going to be. Just trust me, that's the way it is. So, and again, like I said in the beginning, I know it doesn't look real, but it is. It absolutely is, and it looks just crazy like this, and I love it. It's pretty fun. All right, we are going to highlight some of these, but maybe not these particular ones, because they're on the back side. Over here we get highlight. See, it's kind of like an oval, like a circle. Now I'm going to go ahead and brush on a lot of highlight here, and this is going to make this area look so pretty. There, see that? I've got my detail round, and the reason I'm using the detail round is because it's so soft. It layers paint beautifully, especially over already almost kind of thick areas. Not super thick, but almost a little bit thick. Okay. Yeah, and that's a little harsh, so maybe we'll blend it with a blender brush or something. But now right over here, let's make this one nice and bright as well. Oh yeah, the sun is just burning through this area. I love the way that that's going to look. The more you touch it, see that, the softer it gets. So if the first time you put it on, it's nice and bright. Watch this. See that? See the difference? And then you touch it again, and then that area goes softer. So that's kind of how you control how bright or how, well, not so bright you want it. There. So we'll just highlight over and over again. It's honestly the exact same idea as you see me doing right here to every waterfall. Now we may not do it as much. You see up here I didn't do much. That's intentional because that area is being shaded out. So there you go. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop on a lot of highlight here, and this is really going to help form the cliffs. You see, it just, I don't know, just really makes this painting kind of come to life. I like that. Of course, you know how we wipe down the waterfalls? You can do that if you want to for the cliffs. So far so good, so I haven't really done it yet, but I may need to later. It just kind of depends on how much they mix. Now we're going to do one more round of highlights, this time of course with our detail round, because you're tired of hearing me say this. It's softer and it layers paint more easily than something that's stiff. The stiff brush grinds it in. All right, I think I can stop saying it today. That's all right. See, people just sometimes have so much trouble mixing paint up on the canvas, having muddy colors. And it's just something that's avoidable. And I want to make sure that everybody understands how to avoid that. You limit the amount of paint on the canvas, and you use a softer brush toward the end. That's why this is a detail brush, not a block it in fast brush. There, that looks good. So I hope that helps you. The last thing I want is for anybody to struggle. There. Of course, if you haven't already checked out our full-length instructional videos, definitely go check them out. We got downloads and you got regular old DVDs. Both of them are the same lesson. But give them a try if you haven't already. They might really help you out. I like the technique series personally, but there's a lot of good ones up there. Now we have to imagine that we're kind of standing up on a cliff. Something about level with that, and we're looking down and across this little waterfall. So here's my thought. I'm thinking let's put some sort of a jungly tree up here. What that'll do is just push that back, give us a little more depth in this painting. Now, I will be honest, in my research of this place, I did not see anything like this, but this is reasonable to me. There's got to be somewhere near this waterfall that has a tree on this side. So there you go. We're going to add it. I like that. We'll just kind of make it a typical jungle tree. Just a few leaves coming in. This is for the art more than the actual location, but it really makes all the difference. There. And we won't make it too big. I won't go crazy with it, but I like the way that it pushes the background just a little further away. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs, and brush line. Thanks for watching.